wait like a minute or two to see if people will join. I wish you could like have it automatically post though.
There's got to be a bot that does it.
Oh yeah.
Because there's the if this then that thing that I use for Twitter.
Mm.
And I could probably find something on there that posts to the chat live every time it goes live. But, the only thing is that doesn't always do it right away. Sometimes it waits.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
Are
kind
you
of like,
boarding it?
yeah, I already gored.
Or I'll
Oh
go.
shit, I forgot to
Okay,
gourd alert it.
I'll board it.
Boop, 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 boop.
Board. This is gonna be awkward for the people not watching this live.
I know, right? Skip like
Top
30 seconds in. Skip.
more shit. Just hop on to hear us breathing on the mics.
Alright. I don't think it's gonna. Anybody. I guess we should just start though.
Yeah, we can just start.
Alright. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are late. Like, way late. As you can see, it's week 9. The last time we did this was in week 2. So, we are way late. I am so sorry about that. But if y'all are new to the channel, welcome. If y'all are OGs and y'all are coming back, nice to see y'all again. I'm Avengers, host, along with our other host, Lima.
What's up, guys? Good to be back on live on this late
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
late. uh, so, we're going to be doing this one a little bit different since it is halfway through the season. Awards have come out and everything else, and this is kind of where you see where everybody stands at the first half. So we'll go over that. Sorry for everybody who's been gamers of the week. We will not be going over y'all's games, which sucks. We are hoping we're gonna get our schedule down. Do not worry, we will get our schedule down to do this weekly or bi-weekly and still get y'all's games in. But we're in week 9, and we're gonna go over the games of the week happening this week. So lead us into that, Lima. What do we have?
Alright, so if you're going by order of schedule, our first game of the week is actually my game, the Ravens versus the Colts. Well, I mean, I guess I can talk about my own game. It's not like I'm talking about the scores or anything, but there were a few other good matchups that we could have decided on. Um, Lions Vikings was another good one, but we decided to go with Ravens versus Colts just because the Colts has a few good wins against pretty good teams. He matches up against good teams well, and I have been kind of not super hot lately, but I started 1-2 and have won every game since then. So we're on like a little streak here. So we thought that this would be a really good matchup between two good teams.
Gonna have to watch out for that run game. He
And
is
I've
he is taking off in that against some really good run defenses too.
got a little game plan going, but I'm not a. I'll say this about myself. I'm not the type of person that looks up what other guys do and all this crap. Like I kind of like just look at some small things and build a small game plan on that. But I just go in and play, which I'm sure a lot of people can say.
And our second game of
Anyways,
the week. This is a very
this is
high-powered matchup.
yeah, this is expected to be a really good game. We got probably the best two people as of right now in this league. And actually, if you have already read the power rankings, they are 1 and 2 on the power rankings. Chiefs being number 1, Panthers being number 2. So this is potentially the early Super Bowl matchup
I thought the
that.
Panthers were 3.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Panthers are 3. This is potentially an early Super Bowl matchup. As of right now, the Bucks are favored from the NFC, but the Panthers are still up there, have a really good chance of making the Super Bowl. This could be a really good game.
Well, our predictions. Let's go into it. I'm sorry if y'all remember back in week 2, we did say the Panthers were gonna win. The Panthers did not win in that game. They lost right at the end. I have to go with Chiefs. 8-0 on the season. High power, one of the most high-powered offenses, of course, with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Travis Kelsey. Uh, I have to go Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do have to say the Panthers are. He has 2 losses, but like I said in the power rankings, he is literally a few plays away from being undefeated.
Yes.
So I'm not completely counting him out of this game, and nobody should. But I just see the Chiefs. Like he's got too many offensive threats, and the way he's played with McCole Hardman is really scary because a lot of people expect that when you're the Chiefs, you hit Tyreek Hill the most, but he is taking advantage of
Yeah.
Mecole Hardman. So it's hard to be worrying about Tyreek when Mecole is his favorite target, and then if you're covering Mecole the whole game, oh, there's Hill, you know.
I'm not counting them out. I feel like it's gonna be a close game with both their offenses, but Get Your Game Up has just torched all game long. Like you said, hit McCole Hardman. If you cover him, Tyreek's open. You cover him, McColl's open. You got Travis Kelsey. It has so many offensive threats that's why he's won games. And
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious how the ball security is going to be in this game because both teams are actually really good in the turnover differential. Chiefs is number 1 in the league, and I think Panthers is like number 4 or 3 in the league for turnover differential. Well, so both guys take care of the ball. Both guys can create turnovers on defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how that part of the game goes.
I can't wait to see it.
Obviously, usually a big determination for the outcome of the game.
And I cannot wait to see this game. So those are our predictions. Like I always say, though, in the comments, give your predictions. Tweet them at us at A&L Live or at Combo League. Uh, just, tweet your predictions on these games. It'd be cool to see what y'all think, who y'all think is going to win. And now we're going to move along. Like I said, since this is week 9, it's pretty much the second half of the season. We are going into the stats of the season. The stats. We're gonna show y'all the leaders so far, and actually, if you look at them, leaders aren't too far in the lead. Anything can happen, but we're gonna go over them. So of course, we got Patty Mahomes, leading the league, 2,900 yards, 29 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, having a really good year already. Probably eclipse on his way to 5,000 yards.
Yeah, Duffy's more than halfway there already. he's like, if you sort it, I guess by yards per game, I think he's got one less game played than the Patriots guys, so he's not leading for that. But his percentage is better. His touchdown to interception ratio is a lot better.
Yes.
Like I said, he knows how to take care of the ball. He's not throwing a lot of interceptions, and a lot of you, I'm sure, have noticed so far that the DBs play the ball really well this game. So to be able to say that someone's not throwing a lot of interceptions is a pretty good compliment.
I'll give him this too because I just saw, and I don't want to take too much time. Sacks between the Patriots and the Chiefs. The Chiefs O line, either he's getting that ball out real fast, or the Chiefs O line is just playing them phenomenal. Only 10 sacks. Cam Newton has been sacked 32 times. So he's got some time, or he's just getting the ball out really fast. All right. What do we got?
Probably a good game manager, can
Yeah.
sense when pressure's coming, knows he's got his dump downs, and
So we got rushing. Like we said with the Colts, got to watch out for that run game. Jonathan Taylor, 4 less rushing attempts versus Ronald Jones, almost 100 more yards. 2 touchdowns behind though, um, but averaging a lot more yards than
yeah,
he
and
is.
he's got over 100 yards more than Ronald Jones and one less game played.
Yeah,
And I
almost.
mean, I'm
Yeah,
not saying the running isn't good this match. Like it's still fairly decent. It's just nothing like it was last year. So to be able to already almost 1,000 yards, and we're barely halfway through the season. He hasn't even played half of his games yet,
and he's had
and already
almost 100
almost a
yards
thousand.
less downs played than Ronald Jones.
Yeah,
So he's doing really well
four
in the
less
run game.
carries.
Yeah, he's doing really well with the run game. Someone to watch out for. Okay. And receiving, this is where we go into what we were talking about McCall Hardman being the favorite target. 43 receptions, almost 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns, averaging 161 yards per game. He has been a force to be reckoned with this year. And still less downs played than even the closest, which is Amari Cooper, and barely more than Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, I mean he's going off this year. He's going off, and like I said already, and when we were talking about the game of the week this week, it's really surprising to see him go off with Nicole Hardman. I'm not saying you can't, but everyone's just so worried about Hill. And that's probably a good reason Nicole Hardman's going off, because everyone's so worried about Hill and they just kind of lose focus on Nicole. But if Nicole Hardman was on another team, he would most likely be the fastest receiver on that team, and people would be worried about him too.
Talking about Tyreek real quick, 26 receptions, 603 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Not having a bad year, only averaging 75.5 yards per game. So they are, like you said, focused on Tyreek. People are
Yeah,
shutting him down, but leaving McColl wide open.
I think Tyreek is still on track to get a 1,000 yard season, so he could have two 1,000 yard receivers.
Oh yes. I let's see real quick before we just go on to the next guy. Yeah, I think he's gonna have 2 1,000 yard receivers because I don't see anyone else. But all right, next is blocking. I know O line doesn't get a lot of love, but we're gonna give him a little bit of love. Zach Martin, Jason Kelsey, Jenkins, and Risner and Bakhtiari have not allowed any sacks this year. All varying on how many downs played too. So, if
Yeah, and
you
then not surprising, but if you go the other way, look at sacks allowed. First one is a Patriot. Like we said, Cam Newton was sacked quite a bit. Another Patriot up there.
oh yes.
All right, we're not here to call out the bad players.
All right, defense. A lot, like we said, defense plays a lot better than it did last year. So we're gonna take a look at that. Leader in tackles is Fred Warner. with 62 tackles. Most of those solo, 46 solo, and only 16 assisted. So 7 tackles for loss, but So
Yeah,
Niners
I
not
mean,
playing too bad.
that's pretty good for a middle linebacker. 7 tackles for loss. He's not leading the league, but for a middle linebacker, that is pretty good.
But yeah. In the QB sacks, Samson Abukum, the right outside linebacker for the Rams. 15 sacks, which actually very crazy to see
That
someone,
is really surprising. Not even an X Factor or superstar. I believe he's just on start Ev.
especially if you see some of these higher overalls, Joey Bosa, Von Miller, Kenny Clark, Garrett, they're so much lower. They're under half of what he actually has on the season, and we're only in week
Yeah,
9, so I could see him eclipsing 20 sacks, maybe even breaking the record
it's
this year.
possible. Yeah, yeah, it's very possible.
Interceptions, the two leaders is Isaiah Simmons, who one of the jack of all trades, the best linebacker slash safety hybrid coming out of college, out of Clemson, at 9. And so is L'Jarius Sneed, the free safety out of LA Tech, who's also a rookie for the Chiefs, both having 9 interceptions. So you can see the turnovers for the Chiefs is
That-
very good at forcing these
Yeah,
turnovers.
and obviously Madden is different than the way real life goes, but just think like 9 interceptions. That's more. That's an average of more than 1 interception per game. And if you think about that, I mean, obviously, like I said, Madden's different. So the way that usering goes, it's easier to get interceptions than a real life linebacker would. But I mean, like just and 9 interceptions in 8 games, 7 games is really good.
All for stats, I'll give you. No one really cares about kickers. Joke, joke. I'm just joking. But here, Jason Myers, 12 of 12, 17 and
I would say let's
17.
look at the 100% guys, because
Oh yeah.
in real
Okay.
life, and that's one thing you can say compares to real life is kickers to be a 100% to have a 100% field goal percentage is really good because kickers are, I don't know what's going on, if it's getting in their head or what, but kickers aren't as good as they used to be.
A lot of actually a few good, few decent 100% kickers. Uh, for field goals. Jason Myers, Justin Tucker, Lambo, Sly, McManus, Mac. Some of the guys you expect and some guys you don't expect to be at the 100%
Yeah,
mark.
and
But
it's interesting to see that the Rams has Johnny Hecker kicking his field goals, which it is like as you see, he still got him at punter, so it's not breaking a rule.
no,
But it is, he's 5 of 5. I think his ability. See, that doesn't make sense to me. I think his ability is that he can't get iced.
yeah,
Which, why would you give a punter the ability to not get iced? Because they're in no situation where they would ever get iced. That to me, that
that's
should be a
yeah.
kicker ability only.
Punting, yeah, that's more of a I'll give you this 1,200 yards for bread and man.
Well,
That
look how many times he's punted the ball.
yeah. Uh, and not even really that 46.4 yards per punt. Ooh. Kick returns, just to see there is somebody with a touchdown, and it's Isaiah
Wow,
McKenzie on the Rams for a kick return. So
only one. That's pretty surprising, honestly.
17 kick returns for 518 yards. That is only other. There's a lot of people with. Oh, Ty Johnson, 29 kick returns and not having one. And punt return is Jamison Crowder and Tyreek Hill, both having punt returns. So
An
surprising to see
82-yard punt return for a touchdown.
surprising to see Tyreek with a punt but not a kick return.
Yeah, it. I'm actually kind of glad they. It seems like they made the coverage on kickoffs a lot better because I mean last year it almost seemed like they
You
were
could
just a, you could know you could just kind of swerve your way
kind of run just up
and
the middle and just
yeah.
kind of
And
slide
even
through.
with punt returns too, you could, you know how people, you would just start on one side and then you'd turn around and run all the way back to the other side, and a lot of times you just run by everyone.
But those are the stats. Those are our stat leaders. As you can see, a lot of good stats. A lot of people close. So anything can
Yeah.
still
So hang
happen.
on, before you go into awards, um, who do you think is going to be leading for MVP based off of everything we've seen?
You got to go quarterback. Cause of Madden, usually it's a quarterback. Even if a quarterback has good stats and a little bit of rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, it goes over everybody. It goes over wide receivers unless you use them for a lot of jet sweeps, and of course running backs unless you get them really involved, like someone like Christian McCaffrey for passing and running. It's got to be a
Yeah.
quarterback, and it's probably Patrick Mahomes. He's the leader of.
I think, yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes will be up there, but I think we'll also see Teddy Bridgewater and Cam Newton up pretty close. And then McCole Hardman will probably be on the list somewhere, and I think Jonathan Taylor will
Taylor.
probably be up there too. Maybe
Well,
even Ronald Jones since he's got the touchdowns.
true. So let's go into it. Let's see who's going MVP right now. Patrick Mahomes, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, Hardman, Jones. Pollard is above
Oh
Taylor, and
wow,
so is
Pollard's
Jones.
up there.
And Jones is above Taylor. And Jimmy G and Calais.
Raymond Calais. I
Calais.
think it's Calais.
Calais. If it is, I butchered his name. And Daniel Jones is actually up there, which is cool to see, especially kind of the season they're having. But it's not really a surprise to see Patrick Mahomes up there, especially with the season he's already having pretty much 3 touchdowns to 1 interception a game. On his way, probably gonna hit over 50 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Honestly, I think that Patriots has a good shot of taking over with Cam Newton if he can limit the turnovers.
if he
Maybe
yeah,
I don't know if sacks haven't like affect anything at all. I really don't. I haven't really done enough research to
I
be
know.
able to determine that, but
I think it reduces your yards, so it might.
that's true.
But all right, so y'all seen the list? Give us. We're gonna make our predictions for who we still think could win the MVP. We'll give top 3, and y'all can tweet or comment who y'all think will win, or give y'all's top 3. So I going on the it's gonna be between Patrick Mahomes, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater to me, and if if the Chiefs keep going the way they are going, he limits turnovers, gets the ball back a lot for his offense. I see Patrick Mahomes, and you can say McCole Hardman, but Patrick Mahomes gets more because he can pass to a lot of
Yeah,
different
there's
targets.
Meek, and I mean, even if he only passes to Mecole Hardman at this point, Mahomes would still win it. I think.
Yeah, and so I think it's between Mahomes and Newton. Nothing against the Panthers and Teddy Bridgewater. If, like you said, Cam Newton, the Patriots limits their turnovers, scores more with Newton on the ground or through the air, and limits his turnovers, I think he has a big shot at securing the number 1 spot. That's my
Yeah,
prediction.
I I know. We've been agreeing on a lot of things lately, and I kind of like it better when we disagree because it gives more for discussion. But I can't. It it's there's no reason to disagree here on this. It's got to be Patrick Mahomes. I don't like I said if Newton limits his turn if Mark Baker limits his turnovers with Cam Newton's got a chance, but I just don't see that. Patrick Mahomes has got to win it.
I will give you this. It is surprising if you go to the AFC. I know we weren't going to talk about every award, but Offensive Player of the Year, McCole Hardman is actually the number 1 for Offensive Player of the Year, even though Mahomes is for MVP. So
That's
let that
interesting. Let's
let
go. I want to go check the stats. I know we're going off track. You don't have to, but I'm gonna go check his stats and see if he's got any rushing.
oh yeah, like I
Cause
said, unless they did use jet sweeps besides just throwing to him, and they used jet sweeps, and he could actually have a chance.
rushing, Nicole, no, he's got 2 rushes for 4 yards and a
Ah,
touchdown.
hmm.
That's interesting. Okay, so Mahomes has 2,900 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and then Hardman has almost 1,300 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns. So I mean, if we're looking at it based off of position, the stats that Mahomes has is it's good, but it's not like something that we've never seen before. But for a receiver to already have almost 1,300 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns halfway through the season is crazy.
Oh yeah.
So if we're going off of that aspect, I think Nicole Hardman would deserve it over Mahomes.
I will. Madden is glitching out like they do every year. If you go to best quarterback for the AFC, there's only two people: Sam Darnold and Tua.
And it's obviously not the two best
Either. Hey,
quarterbacks.
no, both are 2-6 on the season. Just no, that's not happening. But I'm just before we move on. Of course, I'm just gonna show y'all kind of the leaders in every category. Kind of hard to talk about every one of them because it would. Oh, offensive lineman for AFC is Mitchell Schwartz. So, like I said, he's gotten some time. But these are the best in both sides. Just to give y'all a kind of, you know, what's happening around the league since like
Yeah.
Simmons is above Abukum for best linebacker for the NFC too.
Maybe they value interceptions over um, sacks.
Yeah. But those are the
Interesting that Get Your Game Up the Chiefs is leading for MVP, AFC Offensive Player of the Year, and AFC Defensive Player of the Year. And Rook of the Year, but it's the same player.
yeah. And he's got best coach, so
Yeah.
he's actually one behind Jonathan Taylor for offensive rookie too. So and he's got
Yeah,
defensive
really
rookie,
could
so
be leading in that category.
he's got a lot of rewards. But like we said at the beginning, he's gonna have a higher powered offense and doing really well on defense too. So kind of expected, and hopefully he keeps it going, and you know he's leading for winning that Super Bowl in year one. But the last thing on our list is standings. Don't care about I am doing terrible, guys. I am 2-6. I'll admit that right now. I'm doing terrible this year. But going to the standings for the NFL, like we said, the 8-0 Chiefs, the 7-1 Buccaneers. We haven't really talked about them a lot, except for Ronald Jones. But like we said, he's 7-1 right now. He's on a 2-game win streak, meaning he just lost not too long ago. Panthers are 6-2. Couple plays, and they would have been 8-0 alongside the Chiefs. And this would have still a great matchup, but it would have been kind of cool to see two 8-0 teams going at it.
Yeah, it really would have. It would have been. There's a game I was thinking of a few years ago that I can't remember the specific game. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a great matchup, like you said. But having two 8-0 teams at the midway point, it would have been something crazy to
We've
watch.
had those a few years.
Yeah.
Browns 6-2, and Vikings and Ravens both 5-2. Cowboys, Niners and Rams 5-3. As you can see, nothing's set in stone. There's a lot of teams close, a lot of teams that could take the crown, as I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. So
I mean, it It is really close, like you said, and obviously this year, if you don't know, they have added on to Madden what they're doing in real life, where 7 teams from each conference can now make the playoffs. So, looking at it, honestly, at least I'm looking at the NFC right now. There's really only 4 teams that are kind of, I wouldn't say out of it completely, but just like far enough down where I don't think they're in the running anymore. But the entire rest of the NFC is really in the running.
If you go close, we'll all right. We'll take a little longer on this part, guys. Kind of get more into depth because if us just talking about some of the teams, I'll kind of want to go in more in depth. Sorry, it's gonna take a little longer. NFC North, one of the closest divisions. Vikings are 5-2, Lions are 4-3, Packers 4-3, and the Bears are 4-4. It's still anybody's game at this point. It's a halfway point, but it's still anybody's game, especially with how close this is. Of course, right now the Vikings look like the best, but you still have the Lions, Packers, and Bears right there. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
I told y'all not to sleep on the Lions either at the beginning, and he's not disappointed at all.
And actually, scroll over to division wins and losses. A lot of these teams still have a lot of division games left. Packers is 1-2, so he's played 3, but he's still got 3 more to go. Bears have 5 more to go, and Lions and Vikings both have 4 more games in the division. So like and as you see, really the Bears is undefeated. He's only played 1 division game, but he's undefeated in the division. But everyone else has a loss at least, so there still could be a lot of shuffling going on in this division.
NFC South, sorry to throw some shade at both the Saints and Falcons, Buccaneers and Panthers, as we've talked about the 2-3 team in our power rankings. Either one of them could actually still win their division. Because I don't know. The Panthers only has 2 division games, and the Bucks has 4. So, depending on who those 4 are, the Bucks could steal it. But 7-1, 6-2. This is still between those 2.
Yeah, and if you don't know, the Bucks and Panthers have played each other once. The Bucks did win that game. It was within 1 score. Like we said, it was a few plays away from the Panthers actually having a shot at winning. But so I mean, and they obviously, since they're division opponents, they still play each other again, and I think that's actually coming up either next week or the week after. So we're in for some real interesting stuff coming from here.
No, yeah.
Obviously, like you said, not taking shots at the Saints and Falcons, but clearly it is between the Bucks or the Panthers for this division.
NFC East. Sorry, Eagles and football team. I'm not calling you. Sorry, Eagles and Redskins. You can hate on me all you want. That is what they're called. Cowboys and Giants though, 5-3 and 4-4. The Giants has kind of slipped in these past few weeks. Started off kind of strong and kind of barreled out. I hope that's not to show for the rest of the season. Hopefully he can still compete with the Cowboys for the rest of the season. Both have 3 games left in their division to play. So another one.
I don't know off the top of my head if they've actually played each other or not yet. Let me check. Let me look at the Cowboys and Giants schedule.
Pretty sure they played one, didn't they?
I think they have. Yeah, I want to say they have. Alright, let's see. Going on the schedule here. Oh, Lord. They played each other in week 5, and the Cowboys got the win by a score of 63-7.
Ooh, Lord, Caleb did not let the Giants off easy on that one.
But I mean, even though the first matchup was a blowout like that, like it could be
a switch in the
Still a
second
good
one.
matchup, yeah, going forward because
Still only one game back from the Cowboys, so hoping to see some really good plays and hopefully maybe the Giants
yeah,
does take over. Yeah, NFC West, another really close, division. Two 5-3 teams and two 4-3 teams. So anybody's game ball or ballpark here, divisions. Ooh, yeah, they have a long schedule of playing each other ahead. Niners has 4 games, the Rams and the Cardinals 5, and the Seahawks has all 6 division games in the second half of this season. So
are
anything
you
can.
looking at the right thing?
NFC West division.
Yeah, division wins and loss. You're on
Oh,
losses and ties.
yep, I was, guys. I'm so sorry. So 3, 5, 4, and 4. That's still a lot of division games to be played
Yeah, yeah,
in this
definitely.
last half. And as you see, the Niners is 1-1 and lost 2, and the Seahawks is 1-2. So
And that's a big, especially since 7 teams can make the division now, or sorry, especially since 7 teams can make the playoffs now. Like division wins have always been important, but like now that, like I said, now that 7 teams can make the playoffs, you could really win all your division games, win just a few other games, and you're in the playoffs.
yeah, especially if you win division games and you tie with anybody, you could make it. Because Cardinals could win their division games and tie with the Niners at the same record and make it, and the Niners wouldn't.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a lot of close ones in the NFC. AFC, kind of the same way. As you can see, I really think in the AFC North it's between you and the Browns. KO. I think the Steelers still has a chance. I'm not gonna say anything about myself, but whatever. I have lost 3 division games. Browns has 2 left.
yeah.
You have 3,
But
and the Steelers with 4. So
if you look at the division wins and losses, though, no one team is undefeated in the division. Even the Browns, leading by half a game right now, no one is undefeated in the division. So it honestly, like even the Steelers could still step up
yeah,
and come
that's
back,
what.
and
Because he
because
has
he actually
4.
did beat the Browns. So if he beats the Browns in their second matchup, and
I play him
if
twice.
yeah,
So
because Steelers can win out, maybe lose one or two, but if he beats the Browns in their second matchup, he would have the tiebreaker over them.
a lot of close divisions this year. Sometimes it's been someone leading by a lot, but this year it's anybody's ball game. Like AFC South, another one. Texans, Colts, both 4-3, and Titans and Jags 3-4. But you know, they could still turn it around with this last half of the season. Division wins and losses: 4, 5, 4-3. So Colts still has to play his division 5 times.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like when they backload the division games because those, like I said, those are already the most important games. So when they backload it on the schedule, it makes you really have to focus on the back half of your schedule.
Oh yeah, I'm liking these close divisions. If we go AFC East though, I don't want to say the Patriots has it, but yeah, I'm just looking at not just wins and losses, but if you look at points for and points against, I don't know if the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins, with how many points they're letting up, are gonna catch up. I know there's
Yeah,
still 8 games, but I feel like the Patriots kind of has it, even if he would go 8-8, 9-6, or 9-7. he could still win.
It's almost like maybe not so much this year, but it's almost like the real life AFC East, where the Patriots just had it, like for the past 15 years at least. Patriots just had it, and like the rest of the division really didn't compete with them.
Yeah,
That's almost what it seems like here.
they still have to play 4 times for their division too, but they're already 2-0, so
Yeah,
I don't know. We're not saying no one has a chance in this league, but kind of saying the Patriots have it. AFC West, Chiefs have their division. I'm not. Broncos Chargers could still make a run at making playoffs, being a wild card, but I feel that the Chiefs, points for, points against, 3-0 in the division. So he has three. The rest have
yeah,
5, and
yeah. Like you said, we don't want to call it this early, but I think the Broncos and the Chargers are going to have to settle with fighting each other for a wild card berth, and potentially actually both making the wild card now with
the
7 teams
17s.
going. But yeah, if I was the Broncos or the Chargers, I'd start worried about making the wild card at this point.
Well, guys, I know this was a longer one, and we kind of went over some information that we usually don't do until end, but we thought it'd be better this way instead of trying to go through 7 weeks of games of the week. Like I said, we'll try to get on board and try to get the schedule down to have games, talked about and everything else. I hope y'all did enjoy though. A lot of stats. Tell us y'all's predictions for divisions, for awards, who's gonna win in stats. Y'all can tweet us. You can put it in the comments. Be great to see y'all. Um, see what y'all think about all this. I enjoyed it. It's a little longer for the standings, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy actually looking at how close these divisions are and how many more division games they still have. Uh, Congratulations to the uh, people winning right now. Don't get too comfortable because there's still people trying to take y'all
Yeah.
spots.
And it's going to be, I know we said it 100 times already, but with 7 people in each conference for the playoffs, that just makes playoffs that much more important because you can make the playoffs at 8-8, get in, and still win the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Like there's been 6 seeds that have just gone in, barely making the playoffs, had to win week 17 and hope for some luck to get in, and then win playoff games.
So, uh, anything else we need to go over? Do you want to make a Super Bowl prediction?
I think that'd be a little too easy right now. I'm not sending hate out to a few the um, above like the few upper level teams, but not the top tier teams. Because if you like looking at the league, I think we've got a clear cut like top 2 to 3 teams, and then we've got a few that are above average sticking out, and then a whole bunch of people in that like 500 or just slightly better than 500 range, and then a few bottom feeders. But I think it's pretty obvious where everyone is right now, and it's obviously still early in the Madden year. But if we had to do a prediction, obviously I'd have to go with Chiefs and actually Panthers. I know Bucks is ahead of the Panthers right now in that division, but I don't know. I think the Panthers would get in over the Bucks. So right now I gotta go Chiefs and Panthers.
Hmm. Sorry, Chiefs, but I gotta go Buck. I gotta go Bucks. I know that their game was close, but I think King King Credible is
It's
going
better
to
the two kings.
yeah is going to make it. I think it's gonna be Bucks and Chiefs. We might be completely wrong. It might be like you said an 8-18. that swoops in. But for now, halfway through the year, do think that. I do think conference championships for the both sides, though, looking at what's happening right now, I think it's going to be Panthers and Bucks for the NFC, and then Chiefs, and as of right now, KO that make the
You know what I
conference championship.
you know what I have to say?
Mm.
I really hope that the Bucks and the Panthers have to play each other 3 times this year, and I hope that the Panthers wins the second game in the regular season, only because the Bucks won the first one, so they'd be 1-1 against each other in the regular season, and then they'd have to do the tiebreaker in the conference championship game. That I think would be something interesting to watch.
Well, like we said, they still got to play. There's still 8 games to go for everybody. Make your predictions based on what you saw, based on stats. Maybe y'all saw people we didn't talk about that you think, oh, will lead some other team to that championship or even to that Super Bowl. But I hope y'all did enjoy. I know this was late, really late, and I know some of y'all might not watch it all the way through, and some of y'all might watch it after it's live. But I hope y'all did enjoy. If y'all did hit that like button. If you're new, subscriber, even if you keep watching but you haven't subscribed yet, do that. Go follow our Twitters, the Combo League Twitter and A&L Live Twitter. It'd be really cool to see that. And as always, hope y'all did enjoy. I am Avengers. Alongside us is Lima.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll try and catch you either next week or 2 weeks from now.
And we will see y'all next time for another Combo League podcast.